Welcome everybody to Brotherly Love Wrestling here on Twitch. And on today's show, we're going to be covering, obviously, the Royal Rumble. But to start off the show, I figure that we have to talk about one of the biggest pieces of news, at least in WWE's world, is now the WWE Network will no longer be a freestanding app, and it will be picked up by Peacock, NBC's streaming app. And I know you're confused as hell by this.
I don't have anything to add because I don't get it. I don't get technology. Why do we do this? Like, I don't understand it. Just give me something simple. Why change everything? God. It's like we're doing this. I don't even understand what we're doing on this. Like, I don't understand technology. Does it show?
Most of the time, yeah.
That's why I'm the producer.
That's why you're here.
So they go to Peacock. So you pay for the network, it transfers over to Peacock. So now you have Peacock, or you have to still sign up for Peacock to get the network, but you're already paying for the network. So it's just gonna trickle over to Peacock. But I still have to get Peacock.
You have to download the physical app of Peacock.
That seems like a lot of work. Honestly, it seems like a lot of work. I feel like Vince is fucking us on this one.
Okay.
Here comes a 45-minute explanation on what to do to go to Peacock that I'm going to tune out of in 30 seconds.
So from what I can tell, you don't have to do anything. Your WWE Network account will automatically become a Peacock account, and
I
you
still
just
have
sign
to download the app.
Yes. And then you
I don't want to do that.
So he does have to do something.
I have to do something when I was doing nothing. I already did the something that I had to do.
Yes. So if you download the app, you can sign in with your WWE
There's nothing
Network.
on here.
You sign
It's
in.
going to be me when I'm trying to watch fucking...
This is why it's a 45-minute explanation, because he keeps talking when I'm trying to explain it.
I don't know why you keep trying.
Well, it's just funny because the more that we go back and forth, the redder you turn. So
I know. I can't help it. Every time I laugh, I
the
turn.
color of my shirt.
That's what I was going to say.
Jesus
I am the
Christ.
color of your shirt. And I've noticed this since we've been doing the video podcast, is that every time I laugh, I get really friggin' red. Like, really bad.
We can attribute that to why our follower viewership is down, because you're scaring people because they think you're suffocating on live TV.
Or internet, not really TV.
Live internet. I don't want to freaking get this app. That's all I have to say about that. I'm not getting the app.
But I mean, look, for Vince, he puts another $1 billion in his pocket.
That's cool.
And
he giving me any of this money? No.
But he gets more casual fans.
Who the fuck do I care?
Well, I mean, obviously you care because you're bitching and complaining about it.
I don't care. I don't care how much money he has. I just don't want to fucking go through another app, another streaming service. I don't. Why is everything so complicated?
Theoretically, you do care
Why is
how much
everything
money
not
he
on the
has, because if he had no money, we wouldn't have WWE and you wouldn't have a podcast.
I mean, I would just, you know what? I would have a podcast. It would just be my daily things that anger me. It would mainly be I-95 and Route 76.
And we would have less viewers than we currly do, which
no,
is
that's
me.
not true. This is a lot more relatable than wrestling. Bad driving is more relatable than wrestling.
Well, can't argue that.
Granted.
I could do 40 minutes on bad driving.
I could do 60 minutes on SEPTA, and I drive anyway.
What?
Transportation in general.
There's no intrinsic value to this show.
I say we move on to the Royal Rumble now that we got that piece of news out of the way. And
well, Peacock is
all right,
simple.
you know what?
Joe's lazy. Everyone else is going to do it anyway. That's what it comes down to.
Last night real quick. Shut up.
Okay.
God, he forgets who's the host of the show. God,
let's talk about what happened last night.
No, the whole Nia Jax thing about how she did the choke bomb and how fucking everyone was trying to bury Nia Jax, and then all the wrestlers came out and basically flat out said, "No, this move was fine." Like it goes to the fact that everyone just wants something. She could have did a perfect. I know this is a stretch, a far stretch, but she could have did a perfect 450 splash, and someone would have still came out and said, "Well, she over rotated on the last turn." Like,
okay,
it's just like that.
Here's my
People are
viewpoint.
deciding that someone's injured before they're even injured.
Here's my viewpoint. People talk all the time about, oh, did you see that incredible Naito versus Ibushi match where they landed on their fucking necks 800 times. And they're like, oh, that match was amazing. But Nia dropped somebody on their neck once. And it's like, oh, my God. Nia's the worst. Blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, I don't think Nia's a great wrestler. I don't. And personally, she doesn't do it for me. She is a charisma vacuum. But I don't see a problem with that move. It's a stiff move.
If anything, this is a way to get her. I mean, there's just people that just don't like her in general. And I think it's just what I have noticed about myself is that when people are vocally displeased with someone for the wrong reasons, like if you're vocally displeased about the people like fucking Joey Ryan or Velveteen Dream or anyone like that, I'm not gonna have the same sentiment. But when people started shitting on Roman Reigns over and over, it made me more invested in Roman Reigns. I actually watched him more just to see why the fuck people hate him that much.
Charlotte Flair was another one. I came around on Charlotte Flair. Nia Jax is doing the same trajectory where people just overly complain about her for no reason. I'll just be like, now I like them. Because it's just like the fact of like,
I think
the
it's
more
different.
People hate someone, I appreciate them more.
I think it's different for a lot of people just because she punched the shit out of Becky and basically broke her nose, and
that also skyrocketed Becky, so she did her a favor.
And the buckle bomb she did to Kyrie that basically knocked Kyrie out. Like that, she's unsafe. But then again, Seth Rollins did the same thing.
Got the title a couple more times.
And that's the thing is that, you know, Seth did that to Finn, and Finn had to give up the title.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
And it's granted.
Bret Hart was on record saying that Seth Rollins is unsafe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and Bret would know about unsafe workers since Goldberg fucking kicked him in the head.
Yeah, well, I think Bret Hart also has a vendetta against people that he thinks are unsafe because Goldberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, that's also because Goldberg's a shitty wrestler. So
he wasn't a wrestler. He was a football player that they tried to overnight.
Yeah, but they had LT on and he did just fine. He did way more than Goldberg did, and Goldberg was there for years.
Either way, I just wanted to touch on that and really just kind of start the pod a little bit.
And not only that, we'll stick with last night because, and it'll lead right into the Royal Rumble, is we finally see the return of Edge, whether it was a video package, but we see the return of Edge, and he announces that he has declared for the Royal Rumble.
Everyone's declaring.
I think going into this Rumble now, adding Edge to it, it's already the Royal Rumble. It's already fun. It's already intriguing no matter what. Granted, no fans, it's going to make it really, really weird to have a Royal Rumble without fans. But Edge adding on to it is a big, big step up for this match. Because I already went into it thinking there's not going to be a lot of surprises because they're not going to want to do huge spots with no crowd reaction or piped in crowd reaction.
Here's the thing. Do we think they know that already?
Yeah, of course they know that.
It's kind of a smoke and mirrors thing. Well, like they're already not expecting much because there's no crowd. This is the perfect time to give them something that they're not, because we say it every time that we go into watching a WWE pay-per-view, strictly WWE, that the expectations are low.
Yes.
And rightfully so in this time, because
at least us anyway.
Without a crowd, it really kind of hinders the whole experience, but people have found a way to make it work. And I think WWE pay-per-view wise, maybe not weekly television for Raw, but their pay-per-views have been really good in the COVID era of wrestling. And and leading into the Royal Rumble, no, I'm not expecting any like big names either, but I think that would be a lot of people like not expecting anything crazy to happen, but this would be like the perfect time. And you have two shots at it. You have the Women's Rumble and you have the Men's Rumble. So, I mean, you have two shots to surprise people either way.
I think, honestly, I don't think the crowd not being there is going to affect their decision-making whatsoever because they're adding in the crowd noise. So somebody's going to get, like, everybody's going to get big pops one way or another on the stream. So
not only that, but
it's not the same, though.
Not only that, but they need they need the viewership if they're going to go over. They're now transitioning over to NBC, and they're going to be on this platform where there's going to be a lot more people that can click onto WWE and they want to see something entertainment. There's a reason they spent $1 billion on the network. I mean, Royal Rumble has to be the segue, and always is the segue to WrestleMania. So,
and especially with the
always that builds. It's always the start to Road to WrestleMania. So there's going to be something. It might not be. Yeah. It might not be The Rock coming out to challenge Roman Reigns, but there'll be something.
Well, especially with the fact that they announced that they're going back to Tampa, and they said there's going to be fans at Mania.
They're expecting 25,000. So last reported 25,000 people on each night.
So go big for the Rumble to convince people, hey, you should still come despite the global pandemic and, thousands of people dying every week.
I think it's in Florida. I think those people are going to be there anyway.
I agree.
Well,
I mean, if you looked at the Kansas City Chiefs game this weekend, there was a shitload of people there, and it's fucking freezing there.
Yeah.
But you're outside. I mean, it's the whole outside thing, I guess, has people less worried.
Yeah.
I mean, 25,000 in an arena that holds, what, 80?
Yeah, it's something like that.
I mean, really, you're able to do it a lot safer.
Well, you're not going to get the international people flying over at least. So
no, but I still think 25,000 tickets are going to go really, really quick.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't know if that many show up, but
the best litmus test for this is going to be in 2 weeks at the Super Bowl. I mean, you're 2 weeks away in Raymond James Stadium. You're getting a crowd. Now, what is that crowd going to look like? Are they only going to have 25,000? Because in Kansas City and Green Bay, it didn't look like it was socially distanced 25,000. Looked like a lot more people.
Watch, The Rock will end up showing up to the Super Bowl, but not WrestleMania.
I think there's a better chance he does.
Undertaker is 2 weeks early or 2 months early, and he shows up to the Super Bowl, but he doesn't show up to WrestleMania.
I'm fine with that, honestly.
I would much rather Taker be at the Super Bowl than at WrestleMania.
What was that?
I would much rather Taker make an appearance at the Super Bowl than at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I'd actually love for him to tombstone Tom Brady on the 50-yard line, but that's just me.
Does Brady sell for him, though? Or does he no-sell?
He no-sells. Absolutely,
I think
Brady
no-sells that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, he no-sells.
Yeah, I could see it.
So,
Gronk was a 24/7 champion, so...
Christ.
It was so weird. He'll probably be in the fucking Rumble. He should be in the Rumble and then be the Super Bowl.
He's in Tampa Bay already.
That's true.
Wouldn't that be? That would be something like, we just need you to make this guest spot, be in the Rumble, and then go play for the fucking Super Bowl championship.
Yeah,
the Lombardi Trophy.
That'll be the surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble that Mojo Rawley shows back up.
I hope not. I hope this one surprise we do get.
Who's saying it's only going to be one surprise?
No, we're not really saying. I'm just saying if there isn't a surprise, the one surprise I hope it is, because I keep hearing a lot about it, is Aleister Black. I hear a lot of talk about WWE. The reason they're holding him is because they have something really big for him. And I'm hoping that the Rumble is where we see this really big plan. Now, that could be all horseshit. It could be absolutely nothing. But if that's the case,
this really big plan, like, does that negate the fact that you misused them for a couple of years?
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
if he gets the push, of course it does.
I never understood the repackaging. Like, we know who you are. Like,
they did it to Shinsuke. They treated Shinsuke. He had the cool entrance and then got booked like shit, and then he won the Rumble. And then he nutshotted AJ Styles 50 times.
Yeah, but I guess if you win the Rumble, that's one thing. But where do you see him fitting in at? Is it him versus McIntyre at WrestleMania? I mean, that is something big for him, but does that really...
Honestly, him versus McIntyre would be a banger.
It would be great.
It would be a banger. It's the match we should have gotten in NXT, but didn't get because Drew hurt himself.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. I love great wrestling matches, but it doesn't seem like the WWE thing to do for WrestleMania. Like, their champions have to be going up against someone who's not going to be there in a month.
I think Aleister Black has just as much chance to win as Andrade does. And
that's not good.
Exactly.
He made it sound like he's got a great shot. He's got as much shot to win as the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd agree with that as well, Andrade as well.
So what are the odds that Jay White is in this Royal Rumble?
Zero. You think zero? You're not even giving it like a 50-50 shot?
Zero seems pretty harsh.
Yeah. It's the Rumble, and he's a free agent. Technically. Supposedly, he's a free agent.
No. I just don't see him leaving NJPW.
Why?
Or at least
what if it was
not for the WWE?
Always work for the WWE. Like that checks off a lot of wrestlers' dream to debut for the company that you grew up watching in the arguably the biggest spot.
If he's going to debut, he's going to debut in NXT. He's not going straight to the main roster.
No way.
No way.
No way. Not Jay White.
Why?
No, they're not going to put him on the main roster right away.
Why?
If anything, he's going to show up and go after Finn.
You just turned. I saw it in his as he looked to the side. I saw it, the wheels churning in his brain. Like, oh, I can get on board with that.
No,
as soon as you said Finn.
Yeah, no. But see, the reason I did that because as soon as you said that, I thought, oh, that'd be great. But Finn has to be in the Rumble then. I want it to be Finn. You know how they always seem to clear house and they have one guy standing there? Finn has to be standing there. And then Jay White comes out with Finn standing there and a lot of people down.
Only if it happens within the first 5 people.
I don't think Jay White goes to NXT because I think he could be automatically utilized on the main roster. If he's brought in just like AJ Styles was.
No, not even close. AJ Styles had years upon years in American television wrestling. Jay White does not.
What they're missing in WWE right now is a true heel. Someone that you can ultimately root against. And I think Jay White would be that ultimate heel that they need.
Roman is an ultimate heel.
I'm talking about the red brand.
Oh, the red brand? Randy.
Yeah, I mean, but all right, but no, Randy.
You can't rely on you're just like you're just like everyone else. You can't rely. We're gonna ride Randy out until he's 50.
Fiend can go either way. Fiend's a tweener, and not only that, if you put 25,000 fans in that Rumble arena, he's getting cheered. If all of a sudden those lights go out, that crowd is popping heel.
Well, here's the thing:
if you want the fans to boo a real heel, send out Bobby Lashley to the Rumble.
Well, he's already in the Rumble, though.
Exactly.
I don't think he's not.
They could build the Hurt Business up to be legitimate heels.
And I'm cool with that. But
I think Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre gets me more excited than Jay White versus
everybody on that roster has flip-flopped that they need someone new. They need someone that hasn't done both and who doesn't have a past or a pedigree with WWE.
Final answer. I don't think it happens.
Odds? What do you think? Percentage?
Easy 2-1.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I completely disagree with Bill.
To have zero chance to debut in the Rumble, I think there's at least two. I'd give it
0.1%. I'll give it. I'll give it 0.1%.
Well, if you think about it, it's a surprise entrant, and it's still a name, despite what you may say. But it's on the same level as, I mean, being an IWGP heavyweight champion is no laughing matter when it comes to the prestige of that title. So
granted,
bringing someone in like that isn't necessarily, that's a heavyweight champion for a major company. That's not like, I mean, Finn coming in and debuting. I mean, he was still young. I mean, Jay White has been seasoned and grooming himself for this spot. I feel like NXT from New Japan is almost a demotion.
I just don't see Vince paying top dollar to Jay White because he doesn't have. because Jay White is nowhere near.
I'm not saying they're gonna fucking back the Brinks truck up to him. I'm saying
no, but what I'm saying
he's gonna be the biggest name.
But what I'm saying is that Finn Balor.
You're saying 0 shot, and he's going to NXT, and he's gonna feud with Finn right away.
Well, what I'm saying is Finn.
We don't even know if he's going to the fucking company. I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying is
all hypothetical.
Yeah. Finn coming over, huge name. Shinsuke, huge name. AJ, huge name. Here's the thing: they made their statements in NJPW, but they also had time on American TV. Shinsuke was in TNA/Impact,
but he still went to NXT.
Bullet Club was one of the biggest factions when Finn was a part of it. And AJ was Bullet Club leader, then Kenny Omega Bullet Club leader, and then what happened?
AJ Styles was also
Cody was there, and then it went to Jay White, and it disappeared.
All right, I think we're gonna this is gonna keep going. So I want to move on. Want to move on, and let's pick who we think as far as men and women's Royal Rumble. Who's your winner? Bill, we'll have you go first since your take is so
we didn't even talk about the women's.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now. So
we're going to talk about it with picks.
Well, yeah, we'll do the men's because we've been obsessing over the men's. So let's go to the men's first. Who you got?
The men's?
Bill? Yeah.
Keith Lee.
Okay.
I think Edge comes in, and he's part of the Final Four with Keith Lee, and I think Keith Lee tosses him out. And I think it's Keith Lee versus Drew.
I think they're going to go with an old reliable.
It's either Keith Lee or Daniel Bryan. That's my two.
Go ahead. Who do you think?
I think they're going with Daniel Bryan. I think with what he's doing, with the work he's doing, with never having done it, with leaving the company within the next whatever his contract, 2 years or whatever, I think out of that whole match, depending on who else surprises us and is in the match, there is no one you would put your money on in believability to where you see him go in at 14, 15, get all the way down to the end, win, and then look at him and go, yeah, I can see that. He has the believability of going all the way to Mania and being in that spot of pointing at the sign, everything that goes into winning the Rumble and getting to Mania. It's one thing that he didn't do. He had the different build, the fighting to get there and fighting, but I think this is Daniel Bryan's year, and I think he's going to do it.
I think Seth comes back and wins it.
Ooh, I was not expecting that. I thought you were going to go Daniel Bryan.
Nope. I think Seth comes back, and I don't know if they write him as a babyface or whatnot, but I think Seth comes back and wins it.
I'm good with all three of them, to be honest. I will be extremely happy with all three of them.
I think I like mine the least.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Seth is probably a good call just because if he comes back at the Rumble, he's coming back probably as a face. And he's going right for Roman. Like that's that's
why I would like
perfect built situation.
Yeah, it's already built. That's why I can see it.
But that's why I kind of like Daniel Bryan as well, because you have this huge heel with the underdog Daniel Bryan again, just in a completely different circumstance.
Funny enough, Daniel Bryan worked heel versus heel against Brock.
True. That was a very good match.
That was an incredible match. So
so what are the odds that Brock makes an appearance?
I don't think he shows up.
See, if Vince is back in the Brinks truck up, it's for Brock Lesnar.
I agree.
And John Cena.
Actually, if anything, I think if Brock makes an appearance at this particular pay-per-view, it's to attack Goldberg.
Oh. Why did you have to say that? You had to put that out in the universe? Why would you do that?
It's the only way. It's the only way where Goldberg and Drew come out looking good, where neither one loses anything.
What the fuck cares if Goldberg comes out looking good?
But Vince does, and casuals do. For the second biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Look, the casuals aren't stupid.
Yeah.
The casuals aren't stupid. They don't expect an old-ass Goldberg to be fucking beating up people that are 30 years old.
He beat the fucking undefeated Fiend. He beat the undefeated Fiend. Are you shitting me?
And not at WrestleMania.
And Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens.
And Kevin Owens
should have been on his way. Oh my god, I hate that you just said that.
All right.
I absolutely hate that you said that.
It makes the most sense.
Let's
it
move
makes
on
the
to
most
women.
sense. Both of
Let's
them
move
come
on to
out
women.
looking fine. Goldberg, you get the dust.
The women's is the more interesting because they don't have 30 women on the active roster for Raw and SmackDown. So you know you're going to get NXT women, which is always fun to see them come out. You're going to get Shotzi and Rhea Ripley, Ember Moon probably, Candice LeRae. You're going to get all those. But I think that they have the bigger potential to pull out a surprise.
Yeah.
But I don't think that surprise is going to, like, I mean, you could see
a bigger level surprise?
Yeah, you could see a
I think it's going to be a bigger level surprise.
As in who?
Winner.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, what is it? What's your winner for it then? What's the surprise?
Trish.
Dude,
Trish Stratus?
Trish comes back.
Boy, man, your takes have what the fuck is going on with you?
Wins the.
I've never heard these kind of takes come out of your mouth before.
Trish wins the Royal Rumble, and she goes against Sasha at WrestleMania.
I like the story.
What's the story?
Well, because Trish, you look at the best from the Attitude Era to what people were looking at.
She looked up to Trish. She said Trish was her favorite wrestler other than Eddie growing up. She was an inspiration to her. And they had those confrontations at the women's pay-per-view.
Evolution.
At Evolution, they had that confrontation on the build-up.
Yeah.
And they had it at the Rumble too. I think Trish comes back, wins it, and she goes against Sasha at Mania. Because they have to go big.
If you're looking for a marquee matchup, I would say that probably does it for the women.
Because that's your big thing for Mania. Your big women's match is Trish versus Sasha.
I honestly don't know
how
to pick
leave
it.
Asuka. Like who is the challenger for Asuka?
Like, probably Nia or Charlotte. I would actually say Charlotte more than anybody because they're going to do the tag team breakup. They're going to lose the titles, and Charlotte's going to go after Asuka for the belt.
That's got to be the setup for that Mania match. It's got to be Charlotte versus Asuka. Charlotte turns on Asuka. Mm-hmm. Charlotte beats Asuka again for the 12th time and wins her 12th
It's
title.
Got precedent because she ended Asuka's undefeated streak at Mania. I mean, it's got precedent. They're in a tag team with the titles. They lose the titles. All of a sudden, boom, Charlotte turns, pulls a Ciampa.
I never liked that booking.
No, she's gonna pull a Ciampa. She's gonna they're gonna lose the titles. They're gonna walk back together, and then Charlotte's gonna hit her from behind on the ramp.
I can't. Honestly,
I could see that happening. So I'm thinking that it is going to be SmackDown who is going to challenge.
It's either that or Bianca or Becky.
That was going to be my pick. Was going to be Bianca.
Honestly, that was my pick as well. But I'm a little thrown off because of her already doing this program with Bayley.
Yeah.
If that would continue that or not. So that's the only reason why I'm kind of hesitant with Bianca doing that. But
what if Eva Marie comes back and wins it?
Oh God, don't. No.
I'm mad at you now that you put that out
there. I'd rather Brock attack Goldberg than Eva Marie be in a match.
I think a definite surprise return, I'm saying return, is Naomi.
Yeah.
I think she comes back.
I think she comes back. I don't think she comes close to winning it. She might get Final Four.
Yeah, no.
If she comes back, I'll put her in the Final Four.
Yes. Yeah, I think she's Final Four, but I think she's the first eliminated from it.
I mean, it could go either way.
Because I think it's going to end up.
Your fucking point is mute.
The only other person other than Trish and the obvious Bianca would be Becky comes back. She was photographed in a gym with the baby.
Yeah.
She's been back training. Well, she's been back in training. She's been lifting weights. Becky could come back at the Rumble.
I mean, look, crazier things have happened.
She's illegally entered a Rumble before. She could do it again.
What if Ronda comes back?
That's a possibility too.
There are so many more possibilities. Now that I'm looking at it and we keep saying it, there are so many possibilities.
Ronda versus Asuka.
That's what surprises.
Ronda versus Asuka at Mania? Oh.
I don't know, man. I thought that Ronda versus Banks match was really good.
Mm-hmm.
At what was that, Rumble last year?
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was Rumble last year because people wanted Sasha to be in the Rumble to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and they booed the shit out of Ronda, and then she left.
Yep.
Yeah, she was just sticking her teeth into that role though too.
I don't think Ronda comes back. I honestly think Trish wins it, but that's me. I think that's their big surprise and that's their marquee thing because NBC deal. They got to go big with big names. Trish is the biggest women's wrestler known.
I don't know.
Other than maybe China.
Wow.
And she ain't coming back.
No shit.
Extra state the obvious there.
Could I say? Hey, they did a hologram of Tupac. You never know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what? That's the worst thing. You know, I always thought like it was always the excuse of, well, they put a man on the moon. Why can't they do this? Now the thing is, well, they had a hologram of Tupac. They can do anything.
Yes.
I never thought something was going to upstage the moon landing, but a hologram of Tupac is the thing that where we can do anything because we have a hologram of Tupac. I never would have saw that coming.
Just saying. No, I honestly I think Trish wins it.
I think we end this.
I think this is it.
This
train
is so far off the tracks, it ain't getting back in.
Yes.
There's people that are trying to frantically exit all doors.
So Seth Rollins,
Yes.
Daniel Bryan,
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. And for the women, you're saying you're sticking with Trish? Bianca?
I think if we're going with hypotheticals,
Yeah.
I think if Naomi comes back, she wins it.
I'm going to go with outside the box. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan.
That was my dark horse. I don't know why. It's just like a feeling.
I honestly don't really believe it, but I just want something different. And I like Liv Morgan. I love the work she's been doing and all. I know they've been doing the Riot Squad thing, but
she was the dark horse in the Vegas betting odds. Believe it or not.
Vegas betting odds. It always gets me
Dude,
for pro
that's
wrestling.
like the worst too. Like you're gonna bet on something that was already predetermined for you to lose money. Like I get it, sports are fixed sometimes, but this is legitimately fixed against you.
But no, and to your comment, yes, you haven't heard takes like that come out of me. But how boring would it be if we were like, huh, Bianca Belair, Bianca Belair, Bianca Belair? No, we
shook it up. We didn't stay the same.
It's the fanless Royal Rumble, and they just sold $1 billion to NBC. Fucking Trish is coming back and winning the Rumble.
This motherfucker wants to bring that up, but Jay White is completely impossible. Yeah, Jay White's completely.
Are you
they
shitting
me? $1 billion and they'll bring Trish back.
500 wrestling fans.
Jay White is completely impossible.
Poll 500 wrestling fans and ask them if they know who Jay White is versus if they know who Trish Stratus is.
That's not fucking fair.
Please.
That's not fucking
please.
fair.
I'll just poll fucking 500 fans in Japan.
Yeah.
They'll still know who Trish Stratus is.
We're
never going to get this.
I didn't say Jay White's coming in winning the Rumble and he's getting $6 million a year. Like that didn't come out of my mouth. I said he could be a surprise entrant and be utilized as a top heel for a company that needs a top heel. And this guy's trying to compare Trish Stratus.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Well, you're talking about a top heel, but Ibushi came over and was in a fucking Cruiserweight Classic. Like...
Again, apples and oranges. You also have the same reason that Nakamura wasn't pushed because of the language barrier, because of the promos. And that wasn't even his fault. That was Vince's fault because he got over every time he wanted to. I mean, people can get over it. It's just whether or not they're going to get pushed.
Shinsuke was another dark horse, by the way, after that gauntlet match.
I mean, I think he'll have a really good showing.
Like, yeah,
I think Cesaro will have a good showing. I think Nakamura will have a good showing. I think Sami Zayn pulls I'm in the Rumble, but I'm going to be outside the Rumble.
The other one that I can't believe that none of us mentioned is Big E.
I think him as, I would love it if they went that route, but I think him as the Intercontinental Champion right now. Unless they do a title for title?
No, I think they do a thing where Big E enters the Rumble, but goes after Ali for what he did to Woods. Because he wasn't there to save Woods, and neither was Kofi. Ali goes after Woods in the Rumble, and then Big E comes out and makes the save. And eliminates Ali, and then I think that's the extent of Big E's involvement in there. I think he stays with the IC title.
All right, well, I think here we'll wrap it up before we get any more arguments started. So
smart move.
See, there you go. Mart X Attack said, and like you said, they control the crowd reaction now. They can make a pop for Jay without the crowd caring.
I agree. I agree with that, but it's still not. Drew McIntyre winning at WrestleMania wasn't as great because you can pipe in all the crowd noise you want, and it just wasn't that moment. That's why.
It was the same thing with Taker's retirement when they were they were pumping in
the thank you Taker. It was
you could feel it's forced.
Completely, yes, completely different. Although I like it a lot better than silence, but I just don't like it. So we were gonna wrap up here. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, if you didn't join us over on Facebook, we had our interview or talk with Devontae, which will be up later tomorrow in the afternoon sometime. And then as well on Friday morning, our interview with Gabby Ortiz, that will be coming out. So keep your eye open. Also make sure to join us next Tuesday.
But just one eye. Just keep one eye open.
Yeah, you only need one. Apparently next week
is
tag team week for Brotherly Love because we have 3 different tag teams that we're going to be having on in the next week or so.
The next 3 shows will be tag team related.
Yes, so we'll be going tag team heavy for the next week or so. So be sure to be on the lookout for that as well. So like, follow, subscribe, do everything you can to help us and support us here at Brotherly Love. We appreciate it, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Before we go, since you want to bring up tag teams, gentlemen, you have your tag team, but I think it's time that I called in a partner.
This is not fair.
So, sometime soon, keep an eye out for me on the Twitch. With my tag team partner, and see what hijinks we get into.
6 people we have. We're gonna get kicked off Twitch.
That's true. We're still gonna have Twitch. We're still gonna have Twitch. Bill will be running a lot of our Twitch as he always has been. But there will be times where me and Joe will not be on Twitch, and will be Bill joined with his guest and his guest host with him as well, whether they're fantasy booking or what is the game, the wrestling game?
Fire Pro.
Fire Pro. Whether they'll be playing Fire Pro using our characters that we created. So that as well will be fun. But so
I'm guessing the Flyers just scored.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Nolan Patrick just scored to go up 3-2 on the Devils.
All right. That works. So so look out for that as well. And that about does it. So thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed.